I'm making 3 different frozen coffee drinks using this guy, a Vibofrost frozen drinks maker. I'm making a coffee frappe, a coffee milkshake, and a mocha frappe, each one using a different style of coffee brewing method. And this is the coffee frappe in progress. Let me show you how I make it. And we're going to start with pour over. So I've got here 30 grams of fairly coarsely ground beans, medium coarse really. And I'm going to create about 480 milliliters of black coffee through this pour over method. That's about 2 cups. That's what I need for the chocolate frappe. And the basics of brewing a pour over are just to add circular motions of water to the coffee bed over the course of maybe 4 minutes or so. And this water is just off the boil. That should give me a nice extraction. There's the coffee. You need to chill this down a touch before I put this in here. It doesn't need to be cold, but I don't want it this hot either. Fortunately, this is a glass Chemex, and the general impression I get when I use my Chemex is the coffee doesn't stay super hot for very long in this thing. There's a lot of heat being given off by this glass. So that's kind of good. It's going to disperse some of the heat naturally, but I'm just going to toss this in the freezer just for a couple of minutes to cool it off. Now the device I'm using to make all of these drinks is the Vibofrost frozen drink maker. It's basically like a at-home slushy machine, so I'm really looking forward to putting this to the test. It came with this book full of recipes. These 3 recipes came straight out of that book with a little bit of a coffee twist that I'm providing because I'm using different types of coffee for each one of these drinks. All right, let's get the non-coffee ingredients in here. I am adding in half a cup of whole milk, and the ingredients all go in the top hatch here. Half a cup of heavy whipping cream, and then 3 tablespoons of allulose. I didn't even know what this is. Apparently it's some kind of 0-calorie sweetener. Clearly I'm never going to have my own cooking show here, but yeah, that's what we need. 3 tablespoons of that, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. See how that coffee's doing. That's still a touch on the warm side, so I'm going to rapidly chill this just using some whiskey stones. These are a nice way to be able to chill things down without actually having to use ice and therefore diluting the drink. So all the instructions are here. You can see them here. First step was mix together all ingredients in a large bowl until combined. It's kind of a large bowl, right? Of sorts. Now to operate this, apparently all I need to do is press the power button here. And then you just pick your drink. There's a whole bunch of different drink options, so there's really not much you need to remember yourself. Frappe, that is what I'm going to use. You can select the thickness by pressing up and down here. I'm going to go for as thick as possible and press frappe and then start, and off it goes. The amount of time this takes depends on how much liquid is in there. Apparently something like 20 minutes should be enough for what I've got here, which is enough for about 2 to 3 servings. Let's wait and see. That is some thick frozen drink at this point. I think it needs a finishing touch. Just look how thick this is, just by the way that the straw goes in. This is some viscous stuff. Oh man, mix the cream in. That's a really nice drink. Okay, this gets the total beginner at making coffee frozen drinks the seal of approval. This is great. Now next up is a coffee milkshake, but I need to clean this first, and apparently there's a pretty neat way of doing this. So I need to dispense all of the existing drink out of here first. So what I need to do is I've just got some warm water here just from the tap. I need to add this to get to the max fill line. Close this up and then press the clean button. Now, after about 4 minutes, I'm supposed to slowly dispense the water out. Also comes with this this little sponge tool as well. Just clean the rest of this off. Just a couple of minutes, I got this thing cleaned up, ready to go for milkshake. Now the coffee milkshake here, the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of coffee syrup. Absolutely not. There's no coffee syrup on this YouTube channel, I'll tell you. So we're going to substitute that with espresso. I'm just going to create a double shot of espresso in place of that syrup. Well, here's the espresso shot, but of course coffee syrup has sugar in it as well, so to make up for that I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of this Alizé. And the recipe also calls for a little bit of granulated sugar. I'm just going to substitute it with this as well, so I will substitute that with a couple more tablespoons. That's 4 tablespoons in total now of this amylase. While that's chilling, let's get the other ingredients in, starting with, surprise, surprise, whole milk in a milkshake. 2 cups of this, 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then a double shot of espresso. Once again, didn't read the directions. It said to whisk all this stuff together first. It kind of stirs it anyway, and the other one turned out just fine. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. It did say to do the whisking so the sugar's all dissolved. Well, I dissolved all of my sugar ingredient, the allulose, into the hot coffee. So I'm going to call that good. So let's close this up. Press milkshake, thickness of 3, that looks good. It's as good as whisking. You know what? That's actually worked out. I'm a little worried about not adding that granulated sugar, but just the substitute that I used has worked. And yeah, there's not much coffee in this. There's just 1 espresso shot, but the coffee flavor comes through really well. I made this, like, and messed with the recipe and it's come out this good. Should I be like getting my own cooking channel? Well, it's a new day now. It turns out there are only so many caffeinated milk-based drinks you can consume in one go, so I thought I'd leave it a day or 2. And for this one, I am going to brew a mocha frappe. The ingredients do call for whisking this stuff up in a bowl first, so I'm actually going to do it this time. So the ingredients for this, first of all, I need to add in 1 cup of half and half, 1/3 of a cup of mocha sauce. The closest I could find was this guy. And then the recipe calls for 2 cups of black coffee. I thought I would mess around with this a little bit and upgrade this to cold brew coffee. Now I don't normally make my own cold brew coffee, but I was a bit lazy today, so using the store-bought stuff. And yeah, unlike the first 2 recipes where I kind of played it fast and loose with the whisking because I didn't really think I needed to, this one with this thick chocolate sauce here, I think it does need a little bit of whisking in. Okay, and it goes. Close the lid and then select the frappe setting. Thickness of whatever that is, 3 out of 5 again, and let it do its thing. I got my glass. It beeped at me, which means it's ready. It says cool. You know, I think this is probably my favorite, the mocha frappe. So look, this has worked out really well. There's a link in the description to the unit I'm using, the Vibofrost unit. Check that out if you're interested. I'd also love to know if you have your own favorite frozen drink coffee recipe. Let me know in the comments.